Greetings everybody, myself Palkumar Patel. Welcome to LeetCode problem solving series. Today we are going to solve a much simpler question 1678 goal parser interpretation. We will start by understanding our problem and then move to the most optimized way for solving this problem because the question is much simpler today. So let's just start by understanding what our problem is trying to say. So as you can see in the question, we are given an input string named as command. Okay, and our task is simple that it would only contain these three sets of characters. Okay, it is given in the constraints that our command string contains only these three sets of characters in a row only, which one of which is only capital G. Okay, and next one is a closing and opening brackets in a row, and another one, the third set, is A and L inside the opening and closing brackets of the we can say circle brackets. And what our task is that for all these three type of sets we have three interpretations. Like we need to parse all of these three we can say sets of characters and then add it into our answer string, or we can say the string which we would be returning at the end of the code. And at the end, according to our given conditions, we need to interpret all of these three sets and we need to return that answer string at the end of the code. This is our simple task. Let me give an example. So as you can see here, as mentioned in the problem, we are given three sets of characters. One is G, another is a circle bracket opening and closing, and another one is A and L present between opening and closing brackets. And for all of these three, what is the parsing will be that for capital G, the G will be staying as it is. There will be no change. It will be interpreted, or we can say parsed in the same form, exactly like it was. For the opening and closing brackets in a row, it will be converted into an O. Okay, because it looks like an O. When we write opening and closing bracket, if we watch it closely, it will be like looking like it will seem if we are watching it as an O in English alphabets. So it should be passed as O. And if we have an A and L inside the closing and opening brackets, we will parse it simply as A and L. We will just remove both of these brackets. Okay, so these are our rules which we'll be using to interpret all the three sets in the given string. So this was the complete problem. Let's just go for solving this problem in the most optimized way possible. Okay, most of you would have just figured out it is much easier. So as I mentioned, our solution for this problem will be that we will traverse through the complete string and we will have a string which is answer. Okay, and for that string, first of all it will be empty, obviously, because we will be adding characters later during the traversing. And for traversing, as I mentioned, we will be using a normal for loop which will run till the last character. Okay, and during that iteration, what will be happening is that we will just simply check, because we have fixed number of sets, so we'll just simply check that if our current character is equal to a capital of G, simply interpret it or parse it in the form of G itself and add it to our answer string in the same form, like add G only. Otherwise, we have next two conditions. Okay, like next, for the next two sets, we have a common condition which is the starting opening bracket, like circle bracket, because as you can see, for the second set where we have a simply opening and closing bracket in a row, we will be countering an opening bracket circle, and for this set too we will be obviously countering an opening bracket of circle. So we'll use a single if for both of these sets, which will be that if our current command of I is equal to an opening bracket, then use the two nested conditions, that either it can be like the next character can be either a closing bracket of the circle. If that's the case, then simply add an O to the answer. But either if that's not the case, then obviously it will be A. The next character will be equal to A. So we just don't need to use another if, we will simply use else. That if the next character is not a closing bracket of circle, then it will be A. So simply add A and L to the answer string. Okay, we will simply add A and L in the form of string. Okay. So this way, at the end of our complete loop, our answer string will be containing the complete interpreted part of G, then opening and closing brackets, and AL inside opening and closing brackets. All three sets of characters will be passed perfectly by using these conditions. Okay, and for making this, see, this will obviously work. Okay, it will be return answer. Okay, and then just a second. So this code will obviously work for our main test cases and internal too, as we see, but it will take time, because you know that if we know that this is an opening bracket and next one is AL, then this will be completely passed. But these two characters, like these two iterations, will be just like for nothing. We don't need to iterate them because we know what our task is for that characters, set of characters. So we just don't need to iterate them. So for saving that time of fake iterations, which we don't need, see, for this, we can say for the second set, this one iteration will be like not needed, for which here we will add I plus equal to, like we will just simply write I plus plus, so that this iteration just skips itself, because we don't need it. We know that it is going to be an O. Okay, so we will skip one iteration for this set, and for this set, like if it's this set, then we have else. Inside that, we don't need 1, 2 and 3 characters, so we will simply skip here I plus equal to 3, so that the next 3 characters are not processed, because we know that it's not going to be anything, it's going to be A and L only. So we'll skip these 3 iterations for saving our time for internal edge cases. So let's just run it and check if that works for the main test case. So yeah, it works. And let's just run it for the internal edge cases also by sub. So yeah, as you can see, if I want to be doing this part, then it can take, like there is chances of taking 1 millisecond or 2 or 3 milliseconds also. But like by doing this way, we can just save our time and make the time complexity much better. You can see it's 100%. And obviously we are using a single string, so the memory will be 50% around. Okay, but you need to ignore that. For our main focus is on time complexity, so because of that. So this was the complete optimal solution for solving this problem. If you want the code to this complete problem, you can get that from the GitHub repo link, which is present in the description of the video. Also, if you like the way I explain and solve the problem, you can like the video and subscribe to my channel too for more tech and coding related content. Also, I have solved other questions too of LeetCode. You can check that from our playlist of LeetCode problem solving series. Also, further also much other questions are also going to be added. So for following with me along, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to connect with me personally, you can check my social connections link present in the description of the video. Thank you for staying till the end. Thank you very much.